Disclaimer: Fading the Books is not responsible for any losses. These are our opinions. Said it's about that time. Coach put me in the game so I can push that line. Fade in the books, yeah, it's time to talk parlay. This is the reason you need to watch today. It's almost game day, so let's get paid. We fade in the books, now go ahead and turn the page.
Welcome, sports betting world to Fade in the Books. Me and my nephew is here. We're going to give you our six best picks for Week 13 of the NFL slate. Without further ado, Brandon, get into your first pick.
All right. Before we get in that first pick real quick, I want to give y'all an update real quick from Thursday night's game, Friday games. It was some good games on there. Honestly, we was watching them all. Really good games. Packers pulled it out, which was huge for their division there, especially with the Bears beating the Eagles on Friday. That's going to be a good division actually to watch there. And is the Chiefs dead in the water? Chiefs and the Ravens, are they both dead? Or they got a chance?
Chiefs got a outside chance. I'm talking like look, they looking from the barn. They looking from the outhouse. They not even looking like right at the house. They looking from the outhouse into the house.
Ravens, 6-6 is tough.
Hey, Ravens is across state line. They done. Ravens is done. Them birds are cooked. They cooked.
Yeah, I mean the Chiefs. Honestly, they need to win out, and then plus they need to have some teams lose. But the Ravens, they may be done. They didn't even look good on Thursday. I can tell you your Bears though. I really want to give you some hand claps on those Bears. They handled business. Not only did they win, they actually handled business and controlled most of that game. I was thoroughly impressed. I'll tell you that.
That is what coaching will do for you. That is exactly what coaching will do. An offensive-minded coach with the offensive-minded quarterback. Caleb is starting to grow on me a little bit. We got a run game. We got weapons. We can play. Look, depends on the squad, but we can play any type of weather against any type of team, any type of game. We can do it. Yeah. Finally.
I like it. I like the fact that the run was working, so he stuck with the run and kept it working. That's really good coaching there. All right, so continuing with the Week 13 matchups there, I like the 1 o'clock slate with the Cleveland Browns and the 49ers. I think the storyline here is will Shedeur actually continue his run on what he did last week, which was going to be interesting because he didn't have a bad game or he didn't have an excellent game, but he had a really solid rookie debut game there. The 49ers are just now hitting their stride as well. They're 3-2 in the last 5, 8-4. They need to continue to win in order to stay in that NFC West because of the Rams and the Seahawks are both cooking right now. So they actually absolutely have to win in order to keep it moving there. So for the first pick, I like honestly the weather's gonna be a big factor on this one. So I'm loving Brian Robinson Jr. for his rushing yards. I know his rushing yards is 16.5, but I like him at 15. They give him really good lines right there at 15. He didn't hit it every single time over the last 5 that he's played actually. And it's just a few. I think they're just going to pound it in. Now, don't get me wrong. The defensive line for the Cleveland Browns are amazing. They are doing their thing down there. But I think that the more and more you wear them out with that big body and Christian McCaffrey in the pass lane, it's going to open up for that run. So I like 15 yards for Brian Robinson Jr. What you think about that one?
I like that. Like that pick for him. The weather is definitely going to play a factor in it. Again, McCaffrey, he's going to be used a lot in the passing game. They have a bye, I do believe, coming up after this game, after the road trip. So I think they're gonna, use Robinson a lot more in the run game, just to, maybe take some of the workload off of McCaffrey going into the bye week. Because I know he plays banged up every week, just like a lot of people. But he's been carrying he's probably like 60 to 70% of this offense, McCaffrey, and having with temperatures like this in Cleveland. Brian Robinson, coming from the Commanders or whatnot, he's used to this cold weather, ground out game, pounds. So I think this is a good spot for Robinson in those rushing yards.
Absolutely. And he's averaging on the season, I think right now he's averaging about 4.5 yards per carry, which is actually really good. Um, he's only getting about 4 or 5 attempts, but he's averaging 4 or 5 yards a carry, which is pretty good. I think he's one play away every single time, like we always say about running backs, from busting one open. I'm there.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right. With my pick, we're gonna stay with this game here, and I'm going with the rookie. That's right. I'm going
Junkins?
with Shador.
Oh,
Huh?
Shador.
Shador. I'm going with Shador, and I'm taking him at 150 passing yards. This will be his second start. So we don't have a lot of data on him, but he is going up against the 25th ranked passing defense in the 49ers. I know the conditions aren't going to be the prettiest for him, but hey, Shador, if you ask Shador, his game is pretty. Any type of weather. The one thing I'll say is, this hate against him, it needs to stop. Y'all confusing confidence for cockiness. We know who his daddy is. We know that gene pool. The one thing you can't say about Shador is that he lacks the work. Like they said, he's one of the first ones in, one of the last ones to leave. So he's a student of the game. His dad isn't going to let him fail. The people around him ain't going to let him fail. So this, talk about him, and he has to be humble. The hell with being humble, because nobody is getting this man, the recognition he deserves. So he's got to go out there and just get it on his own. 150 passing yards, a couple screen passes, a couple over the middle. It's a done deal. I believe in the kid.
Yeah.
What you think?
I'm gonna make it real quick, so I can go on a whole soap opera on Shador. But at the very beginning, I did believe that he was a little bit too cocky, because it's a prove it league, and you're going against a whole bunch of grown men there. So you can't tell me what you're going to do until you actually do it. But I do like the confidence, though. I do like the fact of he never wavered. Being third, fourth string on the depth chart, he never wavered. He always said, and I like his last statement. What he said, "I am who they're looking for, who they've been looking for," and I like it. And so for 150 yards, especially in the conditions they're in, because Cleveland is going to be regardless the rest of the year. Um, I like for him to throw the ball down the field. I like for him to throw those quick screen passes. I just hope that he plays within the game plan, and I think that he can, with going against the 49ers, I think that they may be playing from behind, so they're going to need him to actually do what he needs to do in order to pass the ball. And 150 yards in terrible weather it's going to be solid for any quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
So I really like that. I like that line there, and I like it for Shador himself. If it was for anybody else, I'd be like, I don't know, but I like it for Shador himself. Real quick, let's stay in the West real quick here and go to the Seahawks, because I forgot we all in the same division. Let's go ahead and go with the Seahawks there. And one I like is the guy that's fighting for the offensive player of the year, JSN. JSN's receptions at 7 yards, or 6.5, 7 yards. He's been killing all year. And he's been that guy that Sam Darnold's able to go to, that lean on. If it's not there, he's just checking it down to him and trusting his receivers. When you say trust your receiver and let him do the work, that's the definition of it, and that's what they're doing right there. They're just letting him do the work, throwing him the ball. I think he's getting, about 10 targets a game? He's averaging about 10 targets a game, and he's actually getting them every single time. He's coming down with the ball. It ain't just throwing it his way. He's coming down with the ball. I mean, he's very hard to guard. He has he can run every route in the route tree, and he's going against a heavy man defense with the Minnesota Vikings. So with the Seahawks offensive line being solid, they're going to have to bring more pressure on there and then throw those one-on-ones back there. And he's one of the better one-on-one receivers that we have in the league. So him at 7 receptions, I really like that.
Yeah, I like that play for him. Right now, he's my offensive player of the year. I was looking at Taylor, but man, I don't know. I think teams are gonna shut Taylor down, man. And I think that's gonna hurt his numbers toward the end of the season. You know what I'm saying? Especially with Daniel Jones having that messed up fibula or whatnot. So yeah,
Mhm.
man. But Jackson, I mean, he can deep ball, something short. They're gonna find a way to get him the ball. Donaldson is. I
Yeah.
know, the Vikings, they're like eighth in reception yards to the receiver. This is no ordinary receiver. This man over 100 yards basically in every single game this season, except for maybe 2 or 3.
Yeah.
And this Viking squad, they're hurting on offense. I just see too many opportunities for him to cover this line. Too many. I mean, the
Yeah.
possession meter should be heavily favored for the Seahawks in this game. Heavily favored.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yep. With my pick, we're gonna stay right here, and I'm going with the second running back for him, Charbonnet. Great matchup. Great matchup. I'm taking him at 30 yards rushing against the 23rd ranked defense in the run. We know Walker can have his ups and downs or whatnot, but Charbonnet is that one that can come in short yardage. He might bust one here or there. Again, he's been over this line the last 5 games. He's been over 4 to 5. Um,
Mhm.
the attempts, he's getting 6, 11, 14. So the attempts are definitely going to be there for him, to cover this 30 yards easily. This could be a first half cash, most definitely.
Yeah, and if not, I really like the fact that the offensive line for Seahawks, and once again, is pretty good. And it's one of them plays where like you wear down the blitz, and you just run right behind them. You wear him down, you run right behind him. I
Mhm.
think you wear him down with Kenneth Walker, you wear him down with Charbonnet, and you just run right behind him. Um, I like that Sam Darnold isn't afraid to actually open it up because when you're not afraid to open it up and go down the field, that helps your running back out. Right, that helps
Mhm.
the backfield out and it lightens the box a little bit, especially against a man defense type of deal. They're gonna have to send different pressures. They're gonna have to show sim looks, things like that. And I think that's gonna be the opportunity for Charbonnet to actually break one loose, go up the middle through the A gaps, and get in there as well. So I like that pick as well. Um, so sticking with the same division, actually going with the Rams. This I meant to say this
Mhm.
one first, but going with the Rams.
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, let's roll. Let's keep it rolling because we ain't into the fancy editing. We giving it to you raw, uncut. So
How it is, right?
exactly.
So we're gonna go with the Rams real quick. With the Rams, one thing I do like with the Rams is I like the Old Faithful, and Old Faithful is Devontae Adams anytime touchdown. He's done gotten anytime touchdowns. How many touchdowns he got this year?
A lot.
He had 12 touchdowns this year. And I think he got one over the last 5 at least one over the last 5 every single game. This man was considered one of the best a few years ago, um, receivers in the league with Aaron Rodgers when he had him over there, and he hasn't slowed down. I mean, yeah, some of the downfield routes he's not getting, but in the red zone, he's heavily targeted. When I say heavily targeted, I think he's the number 1 target, receiver in the league right now in the red zone. And best believe that in this game, the Rams will be getting into the red zone quite a bit against Carolina, because you never know what type of Carolina team's going to come out. I tried to give Carolina their flowers last week, and they crapped on me against the 49ers. So we're going against them, especially against the red hot Rams, who is 5-0 over the last 5, and they're probably one of the hottest teams in the league right now.
Yeah, I love this pick. I'm gonna have him on my anytime touchdown parlay that I'm putting together. Um, this man like I don't know what to say about him, man. It's like his game is just getting finer with the years. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like it's crazy. I mean, and having somebody like Puka Nakua across from him, having Williams in the backfield, and then having Stafford at quarterback, I think he just found a new love for the game. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Because I mean, he was able to find the end zone in Green Bay. Every now and then. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it's like automatic here, and because they got to focus on so much. When you play the Rams, that Adams, he's always gonna be one-on-one matchup at the goal
yeah.
line. Like he's just crafty like that. So again, this play is definitely gonna be on my anytime touchdown parlay that I'm putting together for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And and honestly, he's averaging about 8 targets a game, which is crazy for somebody that's only getting targeted in the red zone. And I
Hmm.
think that's nuts. So the opportunity there to actually get that is actually ridiculous.
Yeah.
What you got on for your next one?
Whoo, man, my next one. We're heading to Miami.
Ooh, let's go to Miami real quick.
Yeah, and we're gonna roll with David A. Chain.
Devon A Chain.
Devon A. Chain. And I'm taking him at 70 yards this game here. Um he's been silently killing it on the ground, like every now and then, because he can give it to you at the backfield too, receiving the
Mhm.
ball. Going up against the 20th ranked Saints, who is banged up right now. This is just one of those plays where it's like the possession, no Alvin Kamara, so the run game is gonna be basically nothing for the Saints. You may see a
Mhm.
lot of Taysom Hill, take off or whatnot here and there. But David A. Chain 70 yards at home. Are the Dolphins coming off a bye week?
They are. Dolphins coming off a bye.
So he's rested. He's gonna be ready to go.
Mhm.
So yeah, against this 20th ranked Saints defense, 70 yards. Again, I'm just playing the numbers. I'm playing the
Yeah.
numbers, and I'm just looking at the Saints and what they got going on over there. It's not a good look.
Yeah. I'll tell you this. The Miami Dolphins is still one of them teams where they can still get creative and do the same things. Like, so it looks simple, but they're very creative with it. And Devon Achane, quietly, you're right. He's having a really solid season. He has 900 yards on the ground rushing so far in the year, and he's one of the quickest backs in the NFL right now. Um, Giving him the ball, one play, he could just take it off. And so I really like the creativity that the Miami Dolphins still have, even though Tyreek Hill is out, and the fact of Devon Achane has that power and speed combination there, and he has like again 900 yards so far this year.
Hmm.
He's averaging over 5.5 yards per attempt, which is actually crazy because I didn't think it was that high. Uh, so Devon Achane, I thought he was having a down year, honestly, because of the Miami Dolphins, of who the Miami Dolphins is. But Devon Achane is actually killing it this year still. So
Hmm.
I really like that. I actually really like that pick at 70 yards there for him. And then for my final pick, we're gonna go to the hometown of Indianapolis. Let's travel back to to the Midwest Indianapolis. I know we was down in Miami, hanging out down there. So let's go to Midwest real quick, where the weather ain't so nice, but guess what? We're indoors on this one.
Hmm.
Um, One of the picks I really like is actually we're not even gonna pick with the Colts. There we're gonna go with Houston. And I think one of the ways that Houston's can stay with the Colts in this game is actually by controlling the game. And one of the good things that they have going for I'm sorry, good for the Houston, but bad for the Colts is DeForest Buckner is going to be out on this one. So the middle of that line is going to be wide open. So one of the picks that I like is for the running back, Nick Chubb, 15 yards. Now I know that Woody Marks is getting most of the carries there, but when Woody Marks is going to be in the game, you're going to have Grover Stewart in there for the nose. I think that once they do that rotation where Nick Chubb goes in and Grover's out, they're going to try to take advantage of that and run right up the middle. So I like Nick Chubb for 15 yards. I know his line is like 21 or something like that, or 19 and a half. I like him at 15 yards. And with the attempts, he don't really need a lot of attempts for this one. He had this in every single game. He's only getting about 4 or 5 attempts a game, but he's averaging 4 or 5 yards a game as well. So you don't really need this one. And I think one of the ways for Houston actually to stay with the Colts, I'm not sure if they're going to win or not, but one of the ways for them to stay with the Colts is actually by controlling the game and running on this coach defense.
Yeah. I love this pick. This pick was again, this is gonna be on another parlay. It's not one of my favorite picks, but it's a pick that I'm going to take. And if I was, hey, me and my nephew, we were thinking so much alike on this play. we would have to flip a coin to be like who talks about it or who pick it was gonna be. Because I really like
Yeah.
this play. Again, keeping Jonathan Taylor off the field, and this Houston defense is crazy.
Yeah.
So 15 for Chubb. Him and Mark, I can see them splitting the carries this game, just because that yardage will probably come a little tough on the ground. So Chubb's 15 yards. I really love it. And as you say, big man in the middle is out. Who was that last week? They was able to run. Was it the Chiefs? I mean,
Chiefs.
Kareem.
Kareem Hunt.
Kareem Hunt. He had a lot of carries for 100 yards or so, but still, the fact that they were still able to move the ball on the ground, that says a lot. You know what I'm saying? So,
And I
hey,
think that kind of shows something last week, because if you're down and you're still willing to run the ball on a team, that's just showing the fact that that's the way that you're gonna have to beat this team, is actually running the ball, which was surprising
Yep.
last week because I'm like, Kansas City's down, but they're still running the ball, right? He had like almost 30 carries last week, which was crazy. So
Exactly.
for them to rotate the running backs on there, I think that's one of the ways that teams are going to try to have to
Yeah.
beat the Colts. Pressure Jones and run the ball.
And again, the Colts are they're facing two backs that are bruisers in Marks and Chubbs. The same
Yeah.
way Kareem Hunt's he's a punishing back. So he's gonna punish those linemen. He's gonna punish those linebackers. It's gonna be a tough game for the Colts, and trying to slow down this running game of Houston. Not saying that they're like high powered, but just the fact that they're gonna keep running,
controlling the game.
and
Yeah,
running.
absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think me and Brandon, we can't count. I think we gave out 7 picks this one.
Did we?
Yeah. Because and this is why we give it to you raw. Our
There you
picks.
go.
Yeah, our picks right here we went with was Charbonnet, 30 yards rushing, A-Chain 70 yards rushing, Sanders for 150 yards passing, Nick Chubb for 15 rushing yards, Adams anytime touchdown, JSN over 6.5 receptions. And my nephew gave out a bonus one of Brian Robinson rush yards.
Oh shoot, I sure did. I sure did.
So that's a bonus pick for you there. If you wasn't, it's not on this list right here, but if you're watching the video,
Pay attention.
and not scrubbing, exactly. You got 7 picks. You got 7 picks. All right. There's our picks for this week 13 slate. Nephew, you got any parting words for the people?
That's it. Let's take one home on Sunday. Cash one out for us. This is money right here, y'all. This is money.
All right. Yep. And again, we're trying to reach 100 subscribers. We're at 52. So another subscriber, I think it was yesterday or the day before. So 52, 48 away from the 100. Trying to get it by the new year. So, hey,
Sir.
yeah, help push the channel. There is a new thing. I don't know if this channel has received it, but it's a hype button. If you hit the hype button, if you're watching on a mobile device, it'll give like a push to the channel, to push it out to more people. It's something new that YouTube has rolled out. So if you would mind kindly subscribing to the channel, leave a thumbs up, leave a comment, and hit the hype button. Help us out. That's all it is. That's all it is. Just a little support. That's all we need. All right. With that being said, we're gonna wrap it up, and we will see you Monday night for our live stream of the Giants and Patriots, which should be a good one. All right, we out. Peace.